In this video, we place old Hollywood next to modern Hollywood and see how completely the town that built the dream has been transformed. Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, California. In the 1930s and 1940s, it was the most glamorous commercial street in America. The Chinese Theater, the Egyptian Theater, the Pantages, the El Capitan, the Roosevelt Hotel, and dozens of fine restaurants lining the boulevard from La Brea to Vine. By the 1970s, the department stores had closed, the theaters screened pornography, and the sidewalks filled with hustlers. Today it exists in aggressive uneven revival, with restored anchor theaters surrounded by tourist traps, costume characters demanding tips and empty storefronts. Grauman's Chinese Theater, 6925 Hollywood Boulevard. Opened in 1927, Sid Grauman's Movie Palace hosted the premieres of The Wizard of Oz, Singin' in the Rain, and dozens of Golden Age classics, the forecourt handprints and footprints in cement, becoming Hollywood's most iconic tradition. Now part of a multiplex complex operated by TCL, the original auditorium converted to IMAX. Premieres still held, but the surrounding boulevard unrecognizable from the era when stars walked the sidewalk outside. The Egyptian Theater, 6712 Hollywood Boulevard. Hosted the first ever Hollywood premiere with Robin Hood in 1922. The ornate Egyptian Revival building, declining for decades until Netflix purchased and restored it. The theater that launched the premiere tradition is now owned by a streaming company whose primary business is delivering movies to couches. The Pantages Theater, 6233 Hollywood Boulevard. Hosted the Academy Awards from 1949 to 1959. Art Deco interior, one of the most lavish in the country. Howard Hughes once maintained an office upstairs. Now, primarily a venue for touring Broadway musicals. The awards long gone to larger venues. The theater's Golden Age audiences replaced by subscribers to Hamilton and Wicked national tours. The El Capitan Theater, 6838 Hollywood Boulevard. Opened in 1926 as a legitimate theater, converted to a movie palace, declined into a pornographic cinema by the 1980s. Purchased and restored by Disney in 1991, now exclusively screens Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars, releases with themed lobby displays, the pornographic theater reborn as the family entertainment capital of Hollywood Boulevard. The Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, 7000 Hollywood Boulevard. Hosted the first Academy Awards ceremony on May 16, 1929. A 15-minute private dinner for fewer than 300 people with winners announced in advance. Still operates as a luxury hotel, the Blossom Ballroom, where that first ceremony was held, available for private events. The awards that started as a dinner, now a global broadcast watched by tens of millions. The Academy Awards, Dolby Theater, Hollywood Boulevard. The ceremony that lasted 15 minutes in 1929 grew into the most watched entertainment broadcast in the world, peaking at 55 million American viewers in 1998. By 2024, the audience had fallen below 20 million, the ceremony competing with streaming premieres, social media commentary, and a cultural fragmentation that makes shared viewing almost impossible. The corner of Hollywood and Vine, Hollywood, California. In the 1930s, the symbolic center of the industry with NBC Radio City Studios, the Brown Derby, the Plaza Hotel, and dozens of nightclubs and talent agencies. The Capitol Records building still stands, but the Brown Derby is gone, the nightclubs are gone, the agencies moved to Beverly Hills decades ago. The intersection is now a transit hub with a W Hotel and a metro station. The Capitol Records Building, 1750 Vine Street, Hollywood, California. Opened in 1956, shaped like a stack of records, one of the most recognizable buildings in Los Angeles, home to recordings by Frank Sinatra, the Beach Boys, and the Beatles. Still operates as a recording facility, one of the few surviving landmarks from the Vine Street era, the stack of records enduring, while the format it represents has been replaced by streaming. Musso and Frank Grill, 6667 Hollywood Boulevard. Opened in 1919, the oldest restaurant in Hollywood. Red leather booths unchanged in a century where Chaplin ate, Chandler wrote, and Fitzgerald drank. Tarantino filmed there for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Still operating while the power dining rooms of modern Hollywood are rooftop restaurants where the food is Instagram ready and the lighting designed for selfies. Cyro's Nightclub, 8433 Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood. The most glamorous nightclub on the Sunset Strip from 1940 to 1957, where Sinatra performed. Sammy Davis Jr. broke the color line, and Hollywood's elite drank until dawn. Became the Comedy Store in 1972. The room where Golden Age stars danced in tuxedos became the room where Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, and David Letterman performed stand-up in jeans. The Coconut Grove, Ambassador Hotel, 3400 Wilshire Boulevard. The nightclub inside the Ambassador Hotel hosted the Academy Awards 6 times and was the most famous dance floor in Hollywood from the 1920s through the 1960s. The Ambassador closed in 1989, sat vacant for years, was demolished in 2005. The site now houses the Robert F. Kennedy Community Schools. Pickfair, 1143 Summit Drive, Beverly Hills, California. The estate built by Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks in 1920 was the social center of Old Hollywood, where royalty and presidents were entertained. Demolished in 1990 by owner Pia Zadora and rebuilt as a different mansion, the house where Hollywood invented the celebrity lifestyle, erased and replaced by a larger one. The Garden of Allah, 8152, Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood. The hotel and bungalow complex on the Sunset Strip, where F. Scott Fitzgerald, Dorothy Parker, Robert Benchley, and dozens of writers and actors lived and drank from the 1920s through the 1950s. Demolished in 1959 and replaced by a strip mall and mini-mart, a small memorial plaque, the only evidence that Hollywood's most legendary residential hotel ever existed. The Chateau Marmont, 8221 Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood, California. Opened in 1929, where Columbia's Harry Cohn told William Holden, "If you must get in trouble, do it at the Chateau." John Belushi died in Bungalow 3 in 1982. Still operates as Hollywood's most exclusive hotel, one of the few old Hollywood institutions that survived by never changing. The bungalow where Belushi died still available for booking. Paramount Studios, 5515, Melrose Avenue, Hollywood, California. The only major studio still physically in Hollywood. It's Bronson Gate, the most iconic studio entrance in the world, the lot where Sunset Boulevard, The Godfather, and Chinatown were filmed. Still operating on the same lot, soundstage is now rented to streaming productions and television shows. The gate that Gloria Swanson drove through for her close-up now passed by production assistants delivering coffee to podcast recordings. Warner Brothers Studios, 4000 Warner Boulevard, Burbank, California. Home to Casablanca, a streetcar named Desire and the Looney Tunes. The ranch backlot hosted Bewitched and the Friends Fountain on the same Blondie Street sets for decades. The ranch was demolished in 2023 to build new sound stages, the Gilmore Girls Town. Square on the main lot's Midwest Street still standing. MGM Studios, Culver City, California. The lot where The Wizard of Oz, Ben-Hur, Singin' in the Rain, and Gone with the Wind were filmed, the most powerful studio in old Hollywood, whose motto was "More stars than there are in heaven." The backlot was sold and developed into residential neighborhoods. The lot changed hands multiple times and is now Amazon Studios, the lion's roar belonging to a tech company. 20th Century Fox. Studios Century City, Los Angeles, California. The 300-acre lot included standing sets of a Roman forum, an Egyptian temple, and entire city blocks used for Cleopatra, The Sound of Music, and Planet of the Apes. The backlot was sold in the 1960s and became Century City, the towers of corporate offices now standing where Cleopatra sailed and apes conquered the earth. RKO Studios, 780 Gower Street, Hollywood, California. Home to King Kong, Citizen Kane, the Astaire Rogers musicals, and the early career of Lucille Ball, the smallest of the majors and the first to collapse. The main lot still exists as Sunset Gower Studios, a fully functioning production facility, the studio that made the greatest film ever made surviving as a rental lot under a different name. Universal Studios, Universal City, California. Founded in 1912, the oldest continuously operating studio in Hollywood, its backlot partially converted into a theme park in 1964, allowing tourists to ride through the sets where Jaws and Psycho were filmed. Still operating as both a working studio and theme park, the only major studio that figured out how to charge admission to its own history. Columbia Pictures, Gower Street, Hollywood, California. Harry Cohn ran the studio from a small lot on Gower Street known as Poverty Row, before Columbia grew into a major studio, producing It Happened One Night, From Here to Eternity, and Lawrence of Arabia. Now owned by Sony and based at the former MGM lot in Culver City, the Gower Street lot long since absorbed into other productions. The Hollywood sign, Mount Lee, Hollywood Hills, California. Originally built in 1923 as a real estate advertisement reading Hollywoodland, the last 4 letters removed in 1949, the sign deteriorated until a 1978 restoration, funded by donors including Alice Cooper and Hugh Hefner. Now one of the most photographed landmarks in the world, the real estate advertisement that accidentally became the symbol of an entire industry. Visible from the boulevard, where the industry it represents no longer lives. The Beverly Hills Hotel, 9641 Sunset Boulevard, Beverly Hills, California. The Pink Palace opened in 1912 before Beverly Hills was even a city. Its Polo Lounge becoming the most storied power lunchroom in the entertainment industry. Still operates with the same pink exterior and banana leaf wallpaper. The Polo Lounge, where deals and disasters unfolded simultaneously, remains the most famous restaurant in Hollywood. The Formosa Cafe, 715 6 Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood, California. Opened in 1925 in a converted red car trolley, where Humphrey Bogart, Elvis Presley, and Marilyn Monroe drank alongside studio workers from the adjacent Warner Hollywood Studios lot. Closed briefly, restored in 2019 to its 1940s appearance with original booths and memorabilia preserved. One of the few old Hollywood bars that survived by embracing its history rather than erasing it. The Polo Lounge versus the Sunset Tower Hotel. The Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel and the Tower Bar at the Sunset Tower represent 2 eras of Hollywood power dining. The Polo Lounge, where studio heads made deals over gin martinis, has been joined by the Tower Bar, where agents and streaming executives eat $60 steaks in a room designed for Instagram. Old Hollywood power, expressed through exclusivity. Modern Hollywood power, expressed through visibility. Chasen's Restaurant, 9039 Beverly Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. Opened in 1936, where Jimmy Stewart proposed to his wife, Ronald Reagan proposed to Nancy and Elizabeth Taylor, had the chili shipped to the set of Cleopatra in Rome. Closed in 1995 and demolished, replaced by a Bristol Farms supermarket, the restaurant where presidents and legends propose, now a place where people buy groceries. The Trocadero, 8610 Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood. The most exclusive nightclub on the Sunset Strip from 1934 to 1946. Billy Wilkerson's venue, where Hollywood's elite danced, while Wilkerson's Hollywood Reporter controlled the narrative. Demolished and replaced by the Sunset Time mixed-use development, the building where the man who also founded the Flamingo in Las Vegas hosted Hollywood royalty, now a commercial complex. The Players Club, 8225 Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood. Opened in 1940 by director Preston Sturges as a restaurant and theater where stars performed for each other. Considered the most innovative nightlife concept in old Hollywood. Closed after Sturges sold it, the building has changed hands dozens of times. The club where directors serve dinner to actors has no plaque and no memory on the boulevard. Mocambo, 8588 Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood. The Sunset Strip nightclub from 1941 to 1958, where Ella Fitzgerald broke the color barrier after Marilyn Monroe called the owner and promised to sit in the front row every night if they booked her. Demolished, the site redeveloped. The nightclub where Monroe used her fame to open a door for Fitzgerald, surviving only in the story. Grauman's $1 Million Theater, 307 South Broadway, downtown Los Angeles. Opened by Sid Grauman in 1918, before he built the Chinese and Egyptian theaters, the ornate terracotta facade, one of the great buildings on Broadway. now hosts Spanish-language church services. The movie Palace, where Grauman first tested the premiere concept before moving to Hollywood Boulevard, serving a community that arrived long after the industry left downtown. The Hollywood Athletic Club, 6525 Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood, California. The private club where Johnny Weissmuller, Errol Flynn, and Clark Gable boxed, swam and socialized from the 1920s through the 1950s. Converted into a nightclub in the 1990s, then event space, the gym where Golden Age stars trained now rented for corporate parties and wedding receptions. The Carthay Circle Theater, San Vicente Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. The Art Deco theater that hosted the premieres of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937 and Fantasia in 1940. Its 130-foot tower visible from across the city. Demolished in 1969 for a commercial development that was itself later demolished. The theater where Disney premiered the first animated feature, surviving only as a replica at Disney California Adventure. The Culver Hotel, 9400 Culver Boulevard, Culver City, California. Built in 1924 across from the MGM lot, where the Munchkin actors from The Wizard of Oz stayed during production in 1938. The lobby, a gathering place for studio workers, still operates as a boutique hotel, one of the few buildings from Old Hollywood studio district still standing and still serving the same function. The movie Palace, then and now. In old Hollywood, movies were shown in palaces with gilded ceilings, velvet curtains, and ushers in uniform. The Carthay Circle hosting Snow White. The Los Angeles Theater on Broadway seating 2,000. The Carthay Circle was demolished in 1969. The Broadway palaces became churches and swap meets. Most Americans now watch movies on a streaming service on a screen the size of a laptop.